Watch your head, honey. Well, this is more of a mess than it needs to be. Asseyez-vous.
Merci, monsieur.
Now, can I get you something to drink?
No, thank you.
I'm offering iced tea.
All right, then.
Okay. So, where were we?
In New York? With Dorothy?
Oh, yes. Dorothy is hurt. Dorothy is angry. Dorothy does not approve of the way I'm handling the death of her mother.
By drinking?
Yes, and by isolating myself from the family. She believes I'm behaving like a selfish child.
Well, I think that Dorothy is oversimplifying. Though it is very difficult to look into the face of somebody that you love very much and see your own pain reflected back at you. You're trying, Mel.
Maybe. But Dorothy doesn't give out A's for efforts, especially not to stubborn folk like me who refuse to grieve by the book. I mean, I seem to have worked my way through anger, denial, and depression in record time. Now she can't understand why I haven't hit acceptance yet.
Maybe because that one is the really hard one.
Right. And because anger is so much more fun.
Surely Dorothy must know that there's more than one way to grieve.
Well, I'm afraid not. It's either her way or the highway. And according to her, I've chosen the latter.
So you're back to square one. Poor Dorothy. First she loses her mother, and then she cuts herself off from the one person that she needs the most. Really, I wish that there was some way that I could talk to her and tell her what a terrible mistake she's making.
You're doing it again, Dorian. You wanted to protect, you wanted to nurture, you want to control. Dorothy's different. She's not like your lost girls.
My girls are far from lost. In fact, they've never been better.
I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. Dorothy's just a touchy subject with me at the moment.
Cassie is finally wised up and dumped Andrew. An ill-conceived relationship, if there ever was one. She's finally involved with a more suitable man. Unfortunately, he happens to be related to Vicky, which means I hope it will just be temporary.
Let's go for a walk.
And as for Blair, you've got to admit she's an absolute marvel. Do you know anybody else who can go through the suffering that she has and not just survive, but thrive? She is recovering her strength by sheer force of will.
No, like you told me once, she's a fighter, not a feeler.
Right. By necessity. Exactly like me. And she is going to give that judge no choice but to give us back Star. She just has to. I mean, Star is just a little girl. Tender and trusting. She has no way of protecting herself. Little children like that can be very easily hurt.
Who hurt you, Dorian?
I'm sorry, I really don't know what you're talking about.
When you were a little girl.
I had a perfectly normal childhood. I had a very beautiful, talented mother. My father worshipped the ground that she walked on. We had a housekeeper who took care of all of us.
Tell me about your older sister.
Addie, I told you about her. She's not well. Delicate.
Unstable.
Delicate.
Tell me about the episode with the scissors.
Who told you about that?
It doesn't matter.
Who, Mel?
Cassie.
Cassie? Cassie had no right to talk to you about it. She had no right to talk about Addie at all. She doesn't really know what happened.
What did?
Mel, for God's sake! Don't do this!
It's for both of us. It's important.
Mel, would you just drop it?
I hate to see you this way.
Well, it's your fault. You go and you disappear. You drive me crazy with worry. Now you show up and you start torturing me with these bizarre questions.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's who I am.
No, it's not. It's not who you are at all. I know who you are. You are a man who is intelligent and warm and funny. You are a man who accepts me exactly the way I am, and you never feel it necessary to call me on all my little flaws.
You have flaws?
You know I do. But you have them too. Mm-hmm. I have watched you rage and drink and generally act like the most stubborn man on the face of the earth, and I have never said anything. Well, okay. Most of the time.
Don't you see how I love what we have?
So do I. Oh, I know that I'm impossible sometimes. But honestly, it's just that I'm afraid of losing you.
You're not going to lose me.
Well,
Not.
okay. All right, fine. Can we just not, ask any more questions? Unless, wait a minute, of course you would like me to ask you why you're only drinking iced tea.
No, don't. Survival is a lot easier when it happens without a lot of fanfare. Just know this. An effort is being made.
And make no comment.
Right.
We've got a deal.